Interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. It's National Polar Bear Day, Tony. Do you have a favorite bear?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Cody Parkey?
Okay, you got to do that. I know he just played golf.
I played golf with him.
I forgive him for double doink. I do. I forgot all about it.
Really?
I have.
Really?
I let it go.
You get the pictures that I sent to you with me and him?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
nice
you got to
kid.
do better than that.
No, he's a nice kid.
You got.
I don't know.
Ditka, you played golf with Gale Sayers once.
Love Gale Sayers.
I know you.
One of the greatest of all time, obviously. You know that.
Absolutely.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, NFL players rate their teams. Ohio State dares Alabama to drop it from the schedule, and Charles Barkley joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with Con Knipp, the Charlotte Hornets rookie wing who last night made 8 3-pointers, giving him 209 threes made this season. Best in the NBA and a record ever for rookies. The old rookie record was 206 by Keegan Murray of Sacramento 4 years ago, who took 80 games to get there. Knippel has played 59. Wilbon, Con Knippel's milestone, big deal, little deal, no deal?
The milestone itself is a deal, mid-deal. But what Con Knippel's doing this season as a rookie is a big deal. It is such a big deal to me. One, like a lot of people, I've started paying attention and then even watching the Charlotte Hornets play because of the way they play. Yes, they have LaMelo Ball, who's exciting, but he was exciting in just an empty calories way before. Now, Tony, with Knippel out there, I'm going to tell you this. You know, I vote for postseason award, regular season awards. Right now, he would be my rookie of the year, ahead of his Duke teammate, who I know is a bigger deal, has numbers in lots of categories, and has not been a disappointment
Not at
on
all.
any level.
No, he's an all-star.
But Knippel does not have the ball in his hands because Ball has it in his hands. And yet, when he touches it, he is fire. He's shooting 44% from three. That team is viable, and he's the difference, Tom.
Yes, he appears to be the difference. Last year, Charlotte was 19-63. They already have 29 wins, and they have 22 games left to go. He is a bigger. You cannot make a judgment as to how big a deal this is right now. You have to wait for a few years. For example, the guy who held the record, Keegan Murray, right now he averages 14 points a game for Sacramento. That's fine, but it's not all-star level.
No.
Right? And he has not made 200 threes in any season since the first.
He doesn't really have an impact on the game. This kid does.
Like you, I was fixated last year on Duke, on Cooper Flagg. And look, when Knippel went 4th overall in the draft, I was surprised, and I thought that was maybe too high. But look, as we're saying, what he has done. Look at the wins and the losses. I'm going to say something, I don't mean it to be sacrilegious.
What?
I don't. Because Cooper Flagg is going to be a great, great player. What if this kid ends up being Jerry West? What if he ends up being Mr. Clutch?
Listen,
what if he shoots that well? He is leading the NBA in made threes right now. He's ahead of Steph Curry. It's the only name I want to mention, and I want to mention it for a reason. And by the way, at 44.2%, he can shoot all night. Nobody's going to tell him not to.
That's right.
He's the next generation. Steph Curry, he's a child of Steph Curry. The game has changed. Steph Curry
said last year,
changed the game.
Steph Curry changed it. By the way, more than anybody, this kid reminds me of a young Chris Mullin.
Okay.
And range is deeper for everybody now.
Not lefty,
but Knippel, I saw him play like AAU or something. It was AAU. And I just remember thinking, when you can shoot like this, don't tell me that everybody's as good as you or better than you. What? Hardly anybody's better than him. Not this year. Let's move to this year's NFLPA team report cards. An arbitrator ruled the union couldn't publish them, but the arbitrator couldn't stop ESPN from getting our hands on them. More than 1,700 players rated teams in various categories, including ownership, facilities, and coaches. Miami rated first. That must surprise you. Surprised me.
Does.
Pittsburgh ranked last.
That surprised me too, yeah.
The NFL claims the survey isn't scientifically valid.
Of course it's not.
What? With that said, Tone, what result intrigued you more? I know you've surveyed those.
So this is the thing that the court said could not be published.
Please.
But here's
like
what
it's
happens.
the Pentagon Papers.
Here is what happens. They send this to every single player. And you know who wants it public? The NFLPA wants it public because they want to shame the teams at the bottom. That's what they want to do. Okay. So Miami is first. Minnesota is second. Washington is third. And you know what they have in common besides good snacks and family-friendly activities? They have this in common. They didn't make the playoffs. The guy who was the general manager at Miami got an A. General manager at Minnesota got an A. You know what they have in common? They got fired. First place, you're fired. Now, Pittsburgh is last. They say that Pittsburgh has an F- on the locker room and the facilities.
And the field. Facility meaning the field. That field was
Did they make the playoffs? Yes, they made the playoffs.
That's why you can't pay this any attention.
Every
coach got an A or A+. Well, except like 2 of them.
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
Aaron Glenn got an A. The Jets have no wins. The guy in Washington, Dan Quinn, got A+ because he wears his hat backwards. They were 5-12.
It's nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense. The union wants it out there. Now, his was not nonsense. The part about how they treat the families, because when you look at free agency, right?
That's important. That becomes important.
It is.
How about the fact that Kansas City was rated 27th and they got an F on locker room? Kansas City in the last 7 years, 5 times to the Super Bowl, 3 wins. You think the locker room's killing them? Because I don't.
I bet you this, though. I bet you the Chiefs as a club, you let the locker room go to hell, so it helps you get the new stadium you've demanded across state lines.
But it's not. New England was rated 26th. New England,
the plane wasn't so comfy.
D in food, F on team travel.
How hard is it to get great chowder?
Where did they go this year? They went to the Super Bowl this year.
So, again,
fun.
Dismissible.
It's dismissible, but for us, good to talk about. Good television. Yeah. Let's move to college football and a story about 2 of the great powers, Alabama and Ohio State. They are scheduled to meet in 2027 and 2028. But Alabama has also recently scheduled Georgia State in 2028, a 4th non-conference opponent. And the SEC only allows 3. This has led to speculation that Alabama could drop Ohio State. Ohio State's athletic director told the Columbus Dispatch, quote, "We expect the 2-game series to be played. We should never be afraid to play anybody. We're Ohio State." Boom, unquote. Wilbon, if you were Alabama, would you keep Ohio State on your schedule?
Hell no. No. Now that the SEC teams are playing 9 SEC games, no, you just added a team on your schedule that is probably like 50% chance of being a top 10 or 12 team.
10 maybe or 12?
But you could
top
get
5.
Maybe you get one of the bottom ones. It's a conference schedule. So it could be top 5. So you don't need another one of those. People go crazy. They overreact to every loss you have. No. It doesn't mean you get to play Wofford 4 or 5 times like every SEC team seemed to do at one point. But you don't have to add Ohio State. You don't.
Sorry. So look. I'm not going to put myself in Alabama's shoes because obviously we both agree that playing Georgia State is very, 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 very easy compared to Ohio State.
Of course it is.
Right? But I also think that if Alabama opened against Ohio State and won that game, they'd be almost assured of getting into the playoffs. Because didn't Ohio State open against Texas this year?
But if you lose it and you wind up being a 3-loss team because you got that tough conference schedule.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. And I mean, from a fan standpoint, I want to see Alabama and Ohio State. And outside of Tuscaloosa, nobody really wants to see Georgia State and Alabama, right? Here's my sense, because here are the notes that I took. If Alabama ducks this game, they're going to look like cowards. That statement by the Ohio State athletic director is flexing.
It was flexing.
We are unafraid, and it looks like Alabama is afraid at that point. I am hoping, they went into this with their eyes open. I am hoping both schools.
No, but those schedules are made years in advance.
How many years?
I guarantee you that schedule was made before the SEC mandated 9, not 8.
Alabama and Ohio State know who the other one is, and they wanted that game. They wanted that game.
You know what? There's one. I'm a Big Ten guy.
Well, I got Big Ten news for you.
I'm inclined, as you know, to favor my conference.
Yeah.
There's one school that too often. There's a word I want to use, 3 letters, but I won't do it. Rhymes with donkey. There's one school that acts above all the others all the time.
State?
And it's the Ohio State University. And by the way, they've earned a lot of that, particularly on the football side, not everything else.
Not in this case. Let me give you another Big Ten school.
What?
Indiana, national champions. You know who they played out of conference this year? Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. Indiana State without Larry Bird.
It needs to beef up.
You know who they got next year? North Texas, Howard, and Western Kentucky. Now,
Is the Howard game here in Washington?
I doubt that. They earned it on the field. They beat Oregon. They beat Ohio State. They beat Alabama.
I'm never going to say Ohio State doesn't earn it on the field because they always do. But they know what the situation is in the SEC. They know. They don't care.
That guy, the AD there, he can stand behind that statement forever. Let's take a break. Coming up, I think tanking is a bigger issue than load management, and Wilbon disagrees. We're going to ask Charles Barkley to decide.
We'll also ask him whether he thinks Victor Wembanyama needs to go through playoff heartbreak or whether he can go straight through OKC and Denver for the title.
What word rhymes with donkey? That's 3 letters. You want to Inside the NBA has moved to ESPN, which means Charles Barkley is now our colleague. He was our first ever guest. We're thrilled to have him back in the show. And before we went on the air, we were talking about golf courses, of course, and the fact that Chuck is wearing his 76ers, the team that drafted him. Everything is good. Let's start with this. I think tanking is the bigger issue for the NBA. Wilbon thinks it's load management. Who is right?
I'm got to go with my brother Wilbon because Tony, there's always been tanking in the NBA. There's always been tanking. I think we have to address it. I don't think we should reward losing, honestly. Everybody in the lottery should get one ball, and whatever happens, happen. But when you start saying you're going to get extra ping pong balls for losing, I think that's what the problem is. I think every team in the lottery should get one ping pong ball and take their chances.
But as you said, load management, I know load management has to just annoy the hell out of you, Chuck.
Well, what bothers me is from the fans, Mike, because obviously I don't hate on these young guys. They're making $50, $60 million, and with this new TV deal, they're going to be making $70, $80, $90, $100 million. I think it's unfair to the game and to the fans for you to make $80, $90 million and say, I can't play basketball 2 days in a row. That's a travesty.
You said the other day you'd prevent tanking teams from raising ticket prices. What kind of reaction did you get to that?
Mike, I've been saying this for years. I don't think, not just basketball, I don't think any sports team, if your record is below 500, you should not be able to raise your ticket prices. I'm not saying you got to win the championship. I'm not even saying you got to go deep in the playoffs. But when your team is 500 or less, you should not be able to raise ticket prices. I've been saying that for many years, and I would love for all sports to adopt that.
Tell us what else. We love these sessions where we get to pick your brain about the league and what's going on. You and I do this more frequently. Now we're going to let Tony in on it. Yeah. What else would you do? What other stuff do you see about the game and you say, if I was commissioner today, I'd do this?
Well, I think we've got to find a way to make sure fans, Mike, you've been beating this drum for a long time. It is so difficult for fans to find the games now. I think we've done a disservice to the fans and to the game. We've got to find a way to let the fans know, because the fans are the backbone, and we want to support these networks. I'm so honored to be on ESPN now because it's the greatest sports network ever. But people don't even know when NBC games are on NBC, when they're on Peacock. They don't know when the game's on Amazon. And we got to be very careful because, you know, we got an 11-year deal, and it's a team deal. The players are going to be successful, but we want the networks to be successful also. I think the number one thing we got to do is make sure we let the fans know exactly when the games are on.
Hear, hear.
Sid, Sid, you're done with questions? Can I ask an off-book question?
We'll let you in.
What do you weigh now? You look great. What do you weigh now?
I weigh 270. I started doing with Row.co, doing Zep Bound. I started at 355. I'm at 270, and I want to get to 265. So I'm right where I want to be. But what's going to happen, Tony and Mike, when I get to 265, I'm going to get off the drug, because I don't think anybody want to be on drugs their entire life. I'm going to take a month off and see what happens with my body, because even though I'm taking a shot, I've changed my eating habits and I'm working out. To me, that's the biggest misconception, the notion that you can just take a shot and lose weight. I had to change my eating habits, and I had to start working out. But I'm very excited where my body is now.
265 shouldn't be that hard. You only have 5 to go. You could do that by next Thursday if you wanted to. You could do that.
Well, I'm going to try. But, you know, that's the thing. You know, because I tell people, you got to eat. Because, hey, I didn't get fat not eating, so I like to eat.
All right, let me go back to basketball. Apparently, our inside people say that you have switched from the Knicks to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference. Why not the Pistons?
Well, I watched the Pistons play the Spurs the other night, and my criticism of the Pistons has been Cade Cunningham and Duren have to play great. And one of them didn't play great, and they lost. The reason I like the Cavs, there's really nobody on the Cavs who have to play great. James can have a bad game. Donovan Mitchell can make up for it. Mobley can have a bad game. Allen can make up for it. So I think they got more room for error. So my personal pick right now is the Cavs in the East because of margin of error. Because your great players, they're going to have a bad game here or there. But the Pistons, as great a season they have, Cade Cunningham and Duren have to play great if they're going to go deep in the playoffs.
I'm glad you mentioned San Antonio because you know from personal experience that teams historically have to experience heartbreak in the playoffs before they're able to win. Do you think that Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs are the exception? Can they go that far in the playoff, Charles, without having had that personal playoff heartbreak?
I love Victor Wembanyama. I think what they're doing in San Antonio. Hey, listen, the most underrated player in the league now is probably Stephon Castle. That kid is a flat-out beast. But I still like OKC and Denver. I do. I like those two teams in the West. But, hey, listen, Wembanyama, what that young man is doing, it's great for the league. It's great for San Antonio. But I still like OKC and Denver in the West.
It's great for us that you're on ESPN. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you.
Appreciate it. See you soon.
Thank you, brothers.
You can catch Charles and Ernie and Kenny and Shaq on NBA Tip-Off immediately following this high-quality program. Let's take one last break. Still to come, there are at least 3 big men's college hoops games this weekend. Which is the biggest?
And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander makes his return from injury tonight against the Nuggets. 2 teams Charles mentioned. Big deal?
How does Charles look? Looks
He
good.
looks great.
He looks good, right?
He looks great.
Yeah.